Yet.
You told him. I mean, I thought it was a fun night. We had a good crowd. Love for it to have been bigger, always do. So unless we sold out every seat, I'm going to say the same thing. But it was a lot of energy and fun. We had a large day of recruiting today as well, and that went great. I think all the coaches that helped us, the celebrity guys, and then the guest coaches, man, everybody had smiles on their faces. And ultimately, we got some work done that we all knew going in it was going to be a challenge. We had 8 O-linemen that were dressed out, and 5 of them were actually healthy. The other 3 just played through it, and it was a challenge all night to block our D-line with that crew. And you could tell. I mean, to get 72 plays and only have 250 yards of offense, there wasn't a whole lot of big happening. And that's kind of the nature where we're at offensively. Biggest concern of the night was Chris Murray went down with an ankle injury. It is a broken bone in his ankle, and he's in surgery as we speak. All indications would be that he should be able to rehab and get ready for the season. But that's my biggest fear going into the game is that somebody's going to get hurt, and we're going to have a season-ending injury. I don't think that's what it is. It doesn't indicate that that's what it is. But thoughts and prayers are with him. And he's a leader and one of our best players, and just a great kid. I hate that he had to leave the field the way he did. I think other than that, we got out of it healthy. I don't think we had any other bumps and bruises that can't be taped up or iced, and we're pretty fortunate in that sense, considering all you got to do is look around all over the country and see guys that have been deemed out for the season. I don't think we're in that situation. So.
Burton's going to be just fine?
Yeah, he got poked in the eye. He's got a foot sprain that he played through. Devin's got a hip pointer he played through, and Colton Jackson's got a sprained ankle that he played through. And not sure that any of them played well, but they allowed us to have some fun and get a little bit of work done. We got a good defensive front anyway, and it's hard enough to block them when you're healthy. It's really hard to block them when you're not. And we didn't block them a whole lot tonight, to be honest with you. So. But I thought the offense found some other ways to have some fun. Trick plays were fun. I thought the competitions that we came up with kind of broke the monotony of what was going on, and hopefully everybody left with a smile on their face, looking forward to next fall.
Looks like Eccles Looper is going to be a very versatile weapon for you.
Seems like I've said that before somewhere along the way. He can do a lot of things. He can catch it, he can throw it, he can kick it, and he's just gotten better really every day and more confidence. I think with the summer under his belt, we can create some opportunities where he can be special. And really, the defense bottled him up pretty good most of the night, but you can still see some signs of what he may be able to do.
Coach, you were talking about the other day, practice, kind of the timeline for the next couple of weeks, telling all the kids, finals around the corner, concentrate on that. And you said they returned back on May 31st for the first day of the first session of summer term. Kind of the timeline between now and fall camp. I mean, when are you looking at maybe opening fall camp?
Report day will be August 3rd. That's really the earliest we can report. With where our game falls and where school starts, that gives us basically the same kind of fall camp we've had the last 2 years. So they've got, I think, 2 weeks left of school before finals start. We'll get some work done. We'll have a PRP practice on Monday where they'll work out on their own just to kind of get an idea of what they want to do for the summer. It'll be 2 weeks of just kind of body work. Finals, and then the way our schedule works, they get about a 3-week break between finals and the first summer class. That's time on their own. We don't do anything during that time. When they come back for the first day of summer, they will all be here all summer. They typically do PRPs a couple days a week. They work with Shadid every day to some degree, whether it be in the weight room or on the field for conditioning. And they'll do that all the way up till about 5 days before camp starts. I give them a 5-day break where they just get away from this building and go off and go see family, and then they'll report back on the 3rd, and we'll lock the door and go to work, same as we always do.
We're talking about that May 31st. Are you expecting everybody be here at that time?
All indicate everybody you saw today, plus a handful of the signees that are done early enough to be here.
Right.
The other half of the signees will come, in July.
Right.
Around, I think classes for the second session always start around July 6th. And we'll have kind of half and half, but everybody that's out here now will be here in summer school and taking classes and working out all summer.
Coach, yesterday you mentioned Hanson, Wilson, and McCann as three guys that stood out. Can you elaborate a little more and talk about, I guess, even tonight's play?
Yeah, none of those guys made anything special happen tonight. I think they all just kind of got through the evening. But for those to be the three new additions and for them to have been as impactful as they've been throughout the course of spring, as quickly as they were, to me, is just encouraging with the summer under their belt. Because I think our other guys do a great job over the summer of really getting good, productive work. We come back in the fall camp and we've gotten better from spring ball to fall camp. Those guys haven't shown signs of being able to really help our football team with a good summer under their belt with Shadid and the guys come back fall camp, and I expect all three of those guys to really be an integral part of what we're doing.
Is there specifics on each state that you like?
Well, I mean, Justice brings the opportunity to be explosive with his feet. I think people look at him and just think big, tall, statue type guy, pocket guy. And you find out real quick when he puts his foot in the ground, he can cover ground. The competition at quarterback is far from over, but he's knee deep in the middle of it and creates some things that potentially a couple of the other guys don't in terms of his ability to extend plays, make plays with his feet, and really run the ball and move the chains. Kyle Wilson has shown up every day. He runs well, he's always run the ball, generally does not make the same mistake twice, he learns very quickly, and he, I think, gives us a lot of versatility at linebacker, even shifting some guys around. We experimented with Xavier Woodson at the nickel position for a week and a half. That's because Kyle Wilson's come in and been able to help us have productive snaps in a really short period of time. McKinnis, struggled because he hurt his ankle and missed some, but once he got healthy down the stretch, you can see signs. He's the longest, tallest, rangiest guy we got, and we've got a lot of fast guys that are in that mid-size range, but to be a 6'5" guy with a big wingspan, it's a different beast to have to cover. And with a good summer under his belt and being healthy, not having an ankle to shoot, I think he can be, kind of a change of pace for you, guy out of wideout compared to the other guys that we had.
Is it hard to gauge really what Justice can do based on you were blowing the whistle quick to make sure, as soon as it seemed like a defensive player came within like 8 feet?
Yeah, that was, I don't know if that was me gasping or if it was me trying to keep people away from the quarterback. It's been really hard to have a fair and consistent quarterback, comparison because we've just been so beat up at offensive line, and we have not only had not enough guys, but the ones that we've got have been beat up as well. You're going to get Joe Backus, Tank Morton, and Jamar are all back for the fall, plus guys that are coming in, and we'll be able to go out and have a lot more continuity and block, put some bodies on folks and actually find out what the quarterbacks are going to be able to do. It's been the biggest challenge in the spring. We didn't run the ball very well either. Again, just our defense front's really good, and our offensive front right now is beat up. And they really owned them up front most of the spring.
With Cameron Looper, I think the sense was when he got here, he kind of wanted to play quarterback. What was the conversation with kind of convincing him to move to receiver? Was the sell kind of just this role, this kind of all-encompassing, kind of versatile, kind of let him do a little bit of everything role, or was that kind of develop over time? Or
he's back here in the room.
Right, yeah.
We've had this conversation, but.
Yeah.
He got here and he did. He started working at quarterback. It's hard because you're not in the mix of game plan. You're just kind of throwing and catching with the guys. And every day I look down there on scout team, he'd be out there running another route or catching another ball. It's obvious that comes very naturally to him. Hadn't played quarterback in a few years, and a lot of water going under the bridge between then and now. And really, our conversation was, I left the decision up to him. I was very honest with him. I told him if, in my opinion, if he wanted to be a quarterback, then he had to sell out to it, and that means no other distractions, just go, sink your teeth into it and try your best to learn it. But that, in my opinion, he had missed a lot of quarterback over the last few years, and we had a lot of work to do. But I also thought that he could go out and be an NFL caliber wideout, punt returner, kind of all-purpose, and maybe do some things package-wise to allow him to be more involved. And my starting quarterback wasn't going to be my punt return, kick return guy, and those are things he's naturally really gifted at doing. So we just thought we kind of weighed the options. Really sell out at quarterback and do that and that alone, or sell out and have a really broad role and get great at all these different things, which helps our football teams and makes him extremely marketable You know, he comes in one day and says, "I'm ready, coach. I'm ready to go." And from that point, he's never looked back.
Could you see him punting in a game?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Maybe I start punter. I don't know. We didn't utilize him for that in spring, but you can tell we threw him out there unrehearsed. I don't even think anybody told us to just go kick it, and it traveled about 60. So, yeah. And I would think as a special teams coordinator, you look back and you got a guy that runs 4.3 that has the ability to throw it or run it or kick it. That might make you scratch your head a little bit. So we're gonna have fun with it, and he'll get better each day. I thought he had his best portion of practice over the last 2 weeks. I challenged him midway through to really try to pick his practice habits up, and he took the challenge and had a great couple weeks.
Monty looked really good catching punts out there.
He did, didn't he?
Yeah, are we gonna see more of that?
Probably not, no. And he got an extra couple points for catching it one-handed. I thought that was pretty good. You know, hopefully the fans enjoyed that. We've done that before. The wind was blowing a little bit tonight, so it made it a little bit more interesting.
Any word on his brother's appeal?
Nothing. We still haven't got an answer, but it's just kind of floating around. I mean, who knows? But yeah, no, I guess no news is maybe good news. They haven't denied it yet. There's still a chance. So you're saying there's a chance?
It's maybe one thing that you know tonight that you didn't know a month ago.
Wow, you're always good at putting me on the spot right there. One thing I knew tonight that I didn't know a month ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, nothing surprised me, really, tonight. I'll say one thing, just in terms of a person, I thought Q Heath has really had a great spring and really stepped up and shown that he's going to work hard every day and be competitive and make some plays tonight. An interception, had a chance for another one, big tackle. He's a guy that I think maybe has surprised me at just how broad his role could be in that particular position. But nothing really surprised me. I thought the issues I knew we were going to have going in, we had. Most of those stemmed with what's going on up front right now. And I thought our defense had a chance to be really good, and I think they still do, maybe even improve. I forgot how much I missed Bo Cinnamore covering ground, because he just seemed to be everywhere most of the night, and he's starting to really feel like himself again. So maybe I'd forgotten what it looked like that number 20 run around a month ago. I just think we got a lot of work left to do, and summer's going to be critical. And we'll answer some questions in fall camp, and hopefully we'll help.
Any other questions, guys?
Thanks, guys.
Well, guys, how did it feel to get out there, spring game, in front of a good crowd, and just wrap this spring camp up?
It was good. I felt like it was good, energy from both sides. We still got some things we want to get ready for Toledo, so I feel like we're taking a step in the right direction.
I'd agree with him. We put in a lot of hard work this spring, and to finally get out there and do stuff in front of our fans, it's fun.
Yeah, I agree with both. It was a lot of fun to come out here tonight just to have fun and play ball, and we had a lot of great competition, so that's what it was all about.
Cameron, how do you feel about your abilities as a punter?
I mean, right now they might be a little shaky. I was somewhat okay in high school, so it is what it is.
What do you think about that? I mean, I'm sure you heard kind of Coach talking about it, but just kind of this role that's developed for you where you're just kind of doing a little bit of everything. I mean, just kind of weigh that against, the quarterback thing that you probably at one time, kind of saw yourself at. I mean, just kind of what do you think about what this has all turned into, I guess?
Well, I mean, just like you said, I came to the office one day and told all that go. Especially to have this guy here, it makes it a lot easier. So, I mean, really it's just receiver comes a lot more natural. If I would have with TCU and played quarterback, it'd probably been a lot easier. But, catching punts and kicks and receiving the ball, it becomes more natural than throwing it.
Just kind of, when you look ahead to your future, does that kind of weigh in as well?
Yeah, of course, so that's the easiest route to take, the best route.
Javon defense gave up, I think it was 248 yards tonight. How well did you feel like you guys played on that side of the ball overall tonight?
I feel like it was good energy. Like I said, it's some film we need to watch and see what was going on when they scored a touchdown, because we want to be a stage defense. We don't get nobody anything. So we're going to take a look at the film and just get it corrected. You know, I feel like we played a pretty good game. Guys were flying to the ball, we were hitting, so we just gotta get in the film room and make those corrections.
Have you learned some new dance steps in the off season?
Oh yeah, I learned a little something, you know.
Javon, I was talking to Coach earlier, talking about the timeline here the next couple weeks, you know, finals, and then, you know, y'all report back May 31st, and then fall camp starts August 3rd. I ask this question usually every year, and I remember last year asking Grizz this question, so I'm gonna ask you.
Okay.
Here in a couple weeks, the keys are turned over to y'all for the summer. So what's the thing you're gonna be telling this team and what they need to do? I mean, I know Shadid's gonna be working y'all out, but as the leadership on this team, what are you gonna be telling them, this is what we need to do this summer and what we need to work on?
We're trying to raise the bar. You know, we gotta do better than what we did last year. Everything that we did in the summer last year, we need to do it twice as better this year. We're trying to raise the bar, trying to set a new standard for this program. So I feel like me and these guys and a couple more guys is gonna step up and be leaders and try to take this thing to a new level.
Justice, good. You know, a lot about quarterbacks being in rhythm and stuff. So as far as always going to coach saying, you know, who's at this time, who's at that time, to open the game, just knowing you're going to be the one on the field does make a difference.
And spring's over at this point. You know, obviously you're a transfer. Do you feel like you've made the right decision at this point?
Absolutely. Quickly learn here, there's great people everywhere. Like these dudes, they welcome me, you know, the second I walked in, so I just love being around everybody.
And is there anything?
Tell them what you're faster than me.
That's a work in process. Yeah, we're good.
Is it still kind of frustrating though? I know that you don't necessarily want to get hit all the time, but it seems like you're a little bit more of an evasive quarterback. Just be able to kind of have the whistle blown before you're able to kind of show off what you can do.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think it also helps me get the ball out of my hands and make the right reads as opposed to just, maybe relying on my legs throughout the spring. Just having to get better at throwing, making my reads, have my eyes in the right spot. I think that makes a big difference. Me not being live, because I can't do as much with my legs in the spring as opposed to the fall.
And obviously the offensive line's been kind of shaken up a little bit, and you guys have had different people kind of coming in and out. Has that kind of hampered a little bit with your ability to kind of get in sync with the offense a little bit?
I'm gonna be honest. I think it does a little bit, just because we have a whole bunch of guys rotating in, and a lot of guys go on series after series after series. So I mean, it does happen someday.
Justice, now that you've spent an entire camp going against this defense, what's your thoughts?
They're pretty good. they really are pretty good. Like he said, they come out with great intensity every day at practice, flying to the ball. I mean, we watch on film. Nearly every play they get 11 guys to the ball, and that's tough to beat.
Justice, you going out there first, did you take that to mean anything in terms of where you're at, kind of leaving off spring here and heading into the summer?
I'm gonna try to be along with this guy, trying to help take more of a leadership type of role. That's really what that means to me.
And I think I asked you last Friday, but just kind of what do you guys have in Cameron? I mean, what have you learned about him and his abilities this spring here, just in terms of what he can kind of give you guys when games start?
To be honest, I would say I learned something new about Cam about every day. He's always trying something new. Today he's out there trying to catch behind his back and all that. Talks into the microphone. I mean, y'all know his personality. He's a good dude to be around.
Javon, since you've had an opportunity to chase after Cameron, what do you think about the rest of the opponents that you guys are going to face, getting to chase that cat around?
I think that, I don't know. It's different when I'm chasing this man. It's like chasing a cheetah. I just feel like I'm never gonna catch him unless it's at an angle. So I feel like he's gonna get us ready for any fast opponent we have. Because he's a 4'4" guy. Top of the country. So I feel like he's gonna get us ready.
Anything else, guys? All right, thank you, gentlemen.